Good morning. This is Reverend Pam Geagan from the Center for Spiritual Living, Pleasant Valley in Camp Rio, California. And this week we are looking at William Blake, the mystic, the artist, the unknown really until this century, until the 20th, actually the 20th century. And so we're looking at him and we're looking at his mysticism and how what he saw, and we're seeing through his eyes. And so as I begin this morning, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to relax us in, talk about William Blake, and then continue to share the lines and stanzas from his poem, Auguries of Innocence. And an augury is looking forward to consecrating something new. And so what he was saying as he looked through those eyes of the artist out into nature, he brought nature into us. And so that is why he's one of my favorite poets and mystics. So I just want us to go within now and just relaxing in, and just feeling that energy all around us. And feel that energy coming all the way down from the crown chakra, all the way down from the top, coming down, relaxing the forehead, the middle eye, the third eye, relaxing the jaw, feeling almost slack jaw, coming down into the throat chakra, relaxing the throat chakra. And then opening that energy coming around the neck, just dropping the neck, rolling back the shoulders and then dropping the shoulders, stretching out the vertebrae, one by one, going down into the arms, that energy, that light energy that surrounds us from the left to the right, to the north to the south, to the east to the west, to the top to the bottom. Going down the arms, the upper arms, the elbows, the forearms, out the wrists and hands. And then if there's any place in your body that may feel uncomfortable right now, or you're experiencing pain, then I invite you to take those energy wands and just put them right down in that area or around that area. It's your neck, go like this. Because what you're doing is you're directing the energy to heal and reveal your wholeness and your wellness. To acknowledge the body, say, yes, I know you're there, I sense you're there. And so then that energy going down the back, vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae, coming around, opening the heart chakra with the beautiful lotus in it. Seeing the beloved beauty of the lotus, or maybe a deity there, like an angel from the other side, or Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, the thing itself, the beautiful lotus. And then just knowing that you're guided and provided and protected during all of life and in this meditation as you relax in. And then coming back down around below the lotus into the solar plexus, just relaxing the solar plexus. And then going down vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae, coming around and down into the sacral chakra beneath the belly button and above the root chakra. And then taking those energy wands and also bringing them down and around the back, vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae, feeling that energy flow as your body is in your relaxed position, whether sitting, standing, laying down. Just relax in. Open up. When we're relaxed is when we open our hearts, our minds, our souls to that deepest of deep, the great beyond within, the revealer of all. And going down the hips, the thighs, feel that energy after the root chakra, going in the root chakra where our sit bone is and coming around to the front between the legs. Then going down the thighs, the knees, the calves, the ankles, and then going down and out the feet, down to that middle earth. Beautiful, energetic tube of light. and tie it to a branch if you can, or just see it wafting there, or have someone you love holding it there, grounding us in this third dimensional experience, which we signed up for, we waited for. Everything I've ever read about being in this, our souls in this third dimensional experience, is something that is a gift from the highest on high, or it's the emotional planet. And we are here to discover emotion, to deepen ourselves, to become back one with everything. Source itself, I call God, which is synonymous with love for me. So then, as we breathe in that light all the way from the bottom of the feet, up through the body, all the way out, shooting out the crown chakra, and then just relaxing in and hearing my words about William Blake. And how he connected nature to everything. And also politics. There was no separation from him between nature and politics. I was in a writing class one time. I'll just share this with you. This was about, probably 10 years ago. And during the winter is when we, summer, spring, or winter, and fall. No, we met. We met. And we were supposed to, as we were taking a summer break, we were supposed to choose a writer you wanted to be that summer. Live like that writer, be like that writer. And I didn't make it all through the summer, but I did try and be and think and see through the eyes of William Blake that summer. And it was a very, very interesting experience. And so as we go within, seeing through the eyes of William Blake, let me just tell you a little bit about William Blake. He was one of the most prolific poets, artists, and mystics, and was unrecognized during his lifetime, which was the 18th century. And since his death, he's become known as one of the greatest artistic and literary geniuses of the 18th and 19th centuries. And so he had a tumultuous younger life, and eventually he married, had children. He became a famous printer and an artist, but a lot of people did not enjoy his art. And one of the things he always gave credit to was that he saw visions everywhere. He saw visions at Westminster Abbey. He was called unfortunately a lunatic after the exhibition of some of his art. He always espoused and believed his brother instructed him from the afterlife in the method of illuminated printing. So he was the founder of illuminated printing through those channelings of his brother. So he was literally an unknown among his contemporaries, considered at times a genius and other times a complete madman. And he was only seen as a great poet and indeed a great artist, probably not until 2002, when he was placed number 38 in a list of the 100 greatest Britons. And today he is considered one of the most important figures of the Romantic movement. So William Blake was unrecognized during his lifetime, but since his death, he has become known as one of the greatest artistic and literary geniuses of the 19th and 18th centuries. So one of the poems that started me reading about William Blake was Auguries of Innocence. And it's a collection of conflicting situations written as kind of a prophetic judgment. And it pits the innocent against the mature, the poor against the elite, and the underprivileged, and invites the audience to recognize the fragile beauty and balance found within nature. And so the rough rhyme scheme that he used, even though it's uneven in length sometimes, adds to its sense of passion and fury. And so it's much, when you read it, it's like mostly listening to the deeper soul of William Blake, pleading to the reader until, so that you see, to wake up to what is not only in his mind, but all is being presented all around us. And he loved the line, or he loved the idea, if the doors of perception were cleansed, everything would appear to man as it is, infinite. And one of the tenets of his mythology was this: manipulation of religion for the means of a church, the Catholic Church specifically, misconstruing religious values such as mercy, piety, love, and faith by the money that it brought in. Hungry bishops and nuns of the Church of England, the destruction of innocence by the journey and into adulthood, the power of human creativity and freedom, and the spiritual unity with the divine, which he thought of as mercy, as a human heart, while pity is revealed in the human face. So he was very much for the people, and and he saw through everything, so to speak. So his poem begins with, and we did the first lines yesterday, but I'm going to go on and do a few more lines. We are led to believe a lie when we see not through the eye, which was born in a night to perish in a night, when the soul slept in beams of light. That's actually the end of the poem. So his aim in this poem, his idea is found in commonplaces, the very articles that we have witnessed 1,000 times before. He finds transcendently beautiful and expresses them, and not only their beauty, but our connection to God and through his poetry and his artistry. And so the ultimate glow of Blake's poetry is unity with the divine, and it stands as a testimony and a character to witness his intelligence and forward thinking. And although the concepts are not new, to put them in poetry shows the true genius of Blake. He wanted to use his poetry to express his own personal mythology. That mythology was partly political, partly mythical, and partly divine. But in that divinity, he knew it was all of one, all at one. So Blake valued more than anything the human imagination above all, and his mythological law and reasoning were the literal stones that built hell, and they were anthropomorphized as a compass, yielding man to a character that he wrote about, Urizen, the man who weighed and measured the world. There's many illustrations about Urizen also. So it's good to be reminded that he did not accept a lot of religions. He actually derided them and got rid of them. But the one religion that the religion that he loved the most was reading the Bible and the Bible itself. So in that imagination, let us go into exactly that poem that we're reading today at the top lines. And it is to see the world in a grain of sand in heaven in a wild flower, to hold infinity in the palm of your hand, and eternity in an hour. A robin redbreast in a cage puts all heaven in a rage. A dove house filled with doves and pigeons shudders hell through all its regions. A dog starved at his master's gate predicts the ruin of the state. A horse misused upon the road calls to heaven for human blood. Each outcry of the hunted hare a fiber from the brain does tear. And so what he's talking about here in what he's saying is that look to nature to see how where man is at. Because when you look to nature, you're aware that how people treat the animals and putting birds in cages, it destroys the innocence of all of us. And in that innocence, we break through when we see that putting birds in cages or birdhouses restricts their freedom and is abhorrent to Blake. Similarly, a boy who kills a fly will feel the wrath of the spider, not out of a sense of justice, but because the act has interfered with God's natural order. He's very much into the natural order. The fly exists to be killed, not to be pointlessly by a cruel or sadistic schoolboy, but by the spider, which relies on the fly for survival and sustenance. Unnecessary and pointless acts of suffering and remembering that augury means an omen or prophecy, and indeed the word has its origins in a specific form, prophesizing, observing the patterns of birds to predict the future. Animals are thus they're already here as an absolute magnifying glass, and how life is turning, and how we must honor nature more than the desire to kill. So after the opening lines of Blake's poem, where he goes in truth, the most famous, after the opening lines of Blake, the most famous are probably a truth that's told in sad intent beats all the lies you can invent, often repeated with reference to politicians or other people who would justify harm and injustice by using facts to support their position. So he was very political in his oneness, and yet he was very spiritual in his oneness. And he said that if you look at all nature and you see how humanity, for example, is how you treat a dog, like letting your dog starve, it is an act of self-harm that rebounds upon the perpetrator. So as Mark Twain once said, if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything, nor will you have your conscience nagging you that you have done something immoral with a capital I. But this is why pure truth misused is worse. It is assault on our innocence. So he wanted the truth of beingness to be held and accountable, and he shone the light through his poetry on that. So now I'm going to close, and just by breathing in with affirmations, as we shine further light on auguries of innocence, and how Blake saw deeds of harming, not just those that harm the victim, but how, like that karmic, what goes around comes around, it harms us, the perpetrator, as well. So just breathing in and listening to my voice as I stay in the I am. In that oneness, I invite you to go in nature again today and feel that you are that grain of sand. And you are that in the world in a grain of sand, and that heaven in a wildflower. You are that, as Rumi said, that ocean in a drop that is in a drop in the ocean. That you are one with it, and that wisdom lies within that soul, that incorruptible soul, as we open up to it. So, today, I am awake, aware, alert that wherever I stand, I am the soul of that place. I am connected to all life. And just soak that in as you breathe. And I'm aware that even a nanosecond today of feeling that oneness with the allness of nature all around me, that smallest change in perspective brings about the greatest healing. Just breathe that in, paying attention to the breath. Relaxing in. Breathing in the oneness. Seeing yourself as that microscopic, energetic presence in sand. And the drop in the ocean, the ocean in a drop. Watching the birds and feeling how it is to fly and be free and sail. And the beauty of leaves and flowers. And know, just for today, that small change is making a difference for the rest of your life as you embrace your oneness. And I end with this affirmation. In this oneness, I am the universe, expressing itself as human for a little while. And I am grateful for this experience of life. And so it is. And so it is. I wish you a blessed, wonderful, happy day. And I'll see you tomorrow with more William Blake. Mwah! See you on the flip side. And this Thursday night uplift. Oh boy, in preparation for Valentine's Day, Reverend Lynn Chaplain Noe. Please don't forget, please join us. It'll be wonderful. 7 p.m. On CSL Pleasant Valley Facebook. Mwah! Have a blessed, beautiful oneness day.